do 11, 12, 13, 14. Do till 13. Until the train gets the signal. Mr. Durai would rather spend a quiet evening than attend a party. Attending illa. Then attending antagala. He would rather spend a quiet evening than attend a party. Okay. Then attending a party abadlu, then attend a party. Ashte. Durai would rather spend a quiet evening than attending a party. I will recheck, but according to me, it is attend. Attend is only correct. Oh. I bade him to submit all the important documents. He was disappointed because, despite his one word should fit both, the fill in the blanks. He was disappointed because, despite his best efforts, marketing research plays a very significant role in identifying the needs of customers and meeting them in best possible way. So the best answer is best. It is said that the main reason for corruption being prevalent in many countries is lack. Lack andre shortage. Lack of implementation and lack of resources. So ಎರಡು fill in the blanks ಗೂ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಡ್ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. Did you understand? Okay. Fish is the most economical ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ. What is the answer for this? Protein, not product. Protein. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ What do the boys say? ಏನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? Only she has been answering. ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾ, ಪೇನಾ? No. Correct. Express. Boys, did you understand? ಇದೇ ತರ ಬರೋದು. Markets is the answer. Paul is the answer. Clear, all of you? Yes, sure. 100%. Do the first two. Mark the answers in your book. Mark the answers in your book. Okay. The workers are hell bent at getting. ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So what is it? The workers are hell bent upon. Answer is C. Hell bent upon getting. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ when it was feared that the serfs might go too far and gain their freedom from serfdom, the Protestant leaders joined the princes in crushing them. The answer is B. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. All of you should do it. Okay, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದು? See, had the room been brighter andru ಒಂದೇ, if the room had been brighter. So you can check if this is there, you can mark, otherwise even you can mark no improvement. The record for the biggest has not been broken. Record can only be broken. So ಇದನ್ನ select ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Are you able to understand what we are trying to do? Underline ಆಗಿರೋದನ್ನ had the room been bright. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ರೂಮ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂಚೂರು ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Isn't his desire for power, his powerful desire ಅಲ್ಲ, his desire for power brought down about his downfall. Got it? ದುರಾಸೆ, ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ಆಸೆ. His powerful, his desire for power ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ದಾಹ. ಅಧಿಕಾರದ ಆಸೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? I would have waited for you at the station if I had known. Correct. Second one, no improvement, no need of an improvement. Correct again there. Living in communities. Can you give me an example of an insect which lives in community? Huh? Honeybees. ಆಮೇಲೆ ant. Earthworm. Earthworm doesn't live in community. Community ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇರೋದು. Ant, insects. Practically every part, no improvement. Everything is the same. Every part. ಏನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಏನು? My opinion about, correct. My opinion about the film. The end of examinations is moment, ಕ್ಷಣ. A moment for celebrating. ಆ ಕ್ಷಣ. None. We were none the wiser. Not the wiser ಅಲ್ಲ. We were none the wiser. Whenever my students come across new words, I ask them to look them up. So, always for a dictionary, you use look up. So, whenever my students come across new words, I ask them to look up. Dictionary ge it should be look up. We look forward. Always when there is look forward to andaga, verb should be in ing form. So we look forward to hearing from you. Always remember this. Look forward to anta bandaga, it should be hearing. We look forward to hearing from you. Clear? It was indeed a shock for her, but she has. Let me see who gives me the right answer. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈಚೆಗೆ ರಿಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಶಾಕ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈಚೆಗೆ ರಿಕವರ್ ಆದ್ಲು. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ರಿಕವರ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಕವರ್ಡ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರ. You should only read realizing the significance. Money set aside. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ದುಡ್ಡಿಗೆ it is set aside. Remember, for money you set aside money. ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ. If you are not clear about the meaning of a word, it is wise to look. What did I say for dictionary? Look up. Look up a dictionary. No improvement. You are warned against. Yavaglu warned is against. So you're warned against doing it. You're warned against coming inside. Warned anta bandaga against barbeku andre warn ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Clear? Encouraged ಏನ್ ಬರಬೇಕು? ಟು. ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಡ್ ಗೆ ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು, ವಾರಂಡ್ ಗೆ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಯು ಆರ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಡ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ಡ್ ಟು ಕಮ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ವಾರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್. Okay, this one I have taught you. So check the correct one. No sooner ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, than ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. But here look, because no, you cannot have the subject coming first. Had first ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ subject ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. The answer is C. So you can say it as no sooner did he return home than, because ಒಂದು than ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. So than ಇರೋದು ಎರಡೇ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. So you have to choose between these two. But no sooner ಬಂದಾಗ had ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, he ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ she ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ had ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟೇ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. No sooner did he. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Is it clear? He should move on to the next point and not harp ಅಪಾನ್. ಹಾರ್ಪ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ನಾಟ್ ಕೀಪ್ ರಿಪೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ನಾಟ್ ಹಾರ್ಪ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. Either he or I am going. Either or ಬಂದಾಗ the verb follows the closest subject. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ verb ಯಾವುದು? Am. Am should follow the closest subject. Which is the closest subject? I. I uses only am. I cannot use are. Correct? So either he or I am going. Okay, let me see who gets this. Yes. Whenever you have pronouns, which are the subjective pronouns? I, he, she, it, you, we, they. The first position should always be you. The last position should always be I. Adre possessive pronoun vandu bandre. What is a possessive pronoun? My wife, your sister, my brother, her sister. ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಮೈ ವೈಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಇಂದ ಯು ವರ್ಗೂ ಯಾವ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು? ಯು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಒನ್. ಮೈ ವೈಫ್, ಯು ಅಂಡ್ ಐ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್, ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಯು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಐ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಪೊಸೆಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೊಸೆಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? All of you? Okay. To get one's name in the Rollins Wand's book of hunting records was the high ambition. Always high ambition. Andre ಎತ್ತರದ ambition. High ambition andre ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆಸೆ. Taxpayers are to be conscious of their privileges. Need be? No. Have to be. Okay, have to be. Ought andre ಏನು? Moral responsibility. Moral responsibility. Ought andre moral responsibility. Andre people ought to look after their parents. All citizens ought to pay their taxes. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಮಾರಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾರಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು ಅವರು ದೇರ್ ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜಸ್. ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಿಗುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಿವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. As she was suffering from high fever, she could not take the exam. Passed away ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸತ್ತೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. Passed out ಅಂದ್ರೆ fainted. Passed on ಮುಂದುವರಿಯೋದು. Passed away ಸತ್ತೋಗೋದು. Passed out ಮೂರ್ಛೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಓಕೆ. passed on peaceful. ಮುಂದೊಡೀತು ಅಂತ. Every time I take a lift, it's always take, you always take a lift. No improvement. Invaluable ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. Here invaluable is not negative. Invaluable means ಬೆಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರೋಂಥ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? This must be very easy. Mr. Smith arrived in India. Arrived in India. To India ಅಲ್ಲ. Came to India. Arrived ಎಲ್ಲಿ? In India. No. But in all these cases, conversion from scale can be well formulated. Can be well formulated. Okay? Understood?
Sir,
Why? ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Okay. From scale are well formulated. These cases, conversion from scale. Okay. Now, which do you think is the subject here? Huh? No. All these cases not the subject. Conversion is the subject. Conversion is a noun, other subject. Conversion is singular or plural? Can I use are with singular? I cannot. So subject verb agreement prakara, conversion is the subject. So the verb is, because with singular you cannot use. So conversion is acceptable, but conversion are wrong. Conversions plural are agate. Is that clear? Understood now? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನ ಭಾಳ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು. Clear? See, what is a subject? Something that does an action. Conversion is an action. That means noun. It's a process of converting something.
Sir, well formulated.
Well formulated? Okay, conversion from scale, well formulated. Where is the verb? Verb ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. Verb ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ how will you complete the sentence? ಈ well formulated ಅಲ್ಲಿ there is no verb at all. So this subject needs a verb. ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. Correct. So there is no verb. With a thundering roar, the huge rocket, always aeroplanes and rockets, take off. Take off for aeroplanes and rockets. So, thundering roar, the huge rocket took off. Dart andre shortage. Dart means shortage. Women doctors. C is the answer. Women doctors. Illy not possible because this is plural, this is singular. This is singular, this is plural. Illi matra sari ide. Plural, plural. Only then it can be used. Women doctors.
Cross out.
Cross out? No. No improvement. If you cross the line, simple. Line cross madre, you will be disqualified. So not always there will be an error. You have to be careful. No improvement. Why the dinosaurs died out does not know. ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Hmm. His father won't be able to leave for Varanasi until they arrive. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Until they arrived ಇಲ್ಲ. Until ಬಂದಾಗ the verb must be in the base form. Base form ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? The original form, V1 form. Until they arrive. Clear? Until ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ? ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ. ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಅವ್ರು ಬರಲ್ವೋ ಅವರು ವಾರಣಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Which conditional statement is there? First conditional statement. I will not go to school if it rains tomorrow. Okay? Clear? Correct. He has not been and can never be. See, he has ಗೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಬ್ ಬೇಕು. That is in the third form. ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಬ್ ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ವರ್ಬ್ ಇದೆ. ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೀನ್ ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬೀನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿ. ಅವನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್. If I stood alone in defense of truth and the whole world were banded, imagination, ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ನನ್ನ ವಿರೋಧವಾಗಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, imagination, you remember the last condition that I taught you? If I were a bird, if I were the prime minister. So if I stood alone in and the whole world were banded against me, ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ನನ್ನ ವಿರೋಧವಾಗಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ, when the examinations were over, Anil and I. Okay. Okay, now I'll give you a question. When the examinations were over, Anil and I went to our native. Which is the subject here?
Went.
No, went is not a subject. Went is a verb. Anil and I. There must be a noun. See, when the examinations were over is nothing. It is not the subject. Anil and I. Ade, if I give you a sentence like this. Jivita and Indu gave a book to Sanjay and me. Is correct? Or Sanjay and I? ಯಾಕೆ ಸಂಜಯ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಗಲ್ಲ?
ನಾವೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರ.
Ila. See, understand it correctly. Very good. No, Sharif is correct. Object. See, Iga, look at the sentence now. Jivita and Indu gave a book to. So, Jivita and Indu became the subject. Gave is the verb. In Miki, the object agata. So, to Sanjay, and I is not an objective pronoun. Me is the objective pronoun. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಜಯ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಸಿ, ಇದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ಅನಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ಅನಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್. ಸೊ ಹೆಸರು ಹಾಗೆ ಉಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಜಯ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. Or even if you say Sanjay, what can you, which objective pronoun can you change it to? Very good. So Indu and Jivita gave a book to him and me. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Did you understand? So ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it should become objective pronouns. Accurate is not so accurate. Clock can only be accurate. Okay, this is a prepositional phrase. ಏನಿದು prepositional phrase ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಬ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು preposition ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿ it becomes a preposition. Like blown out, blown over, blown up. Here blown is a verb, out is a preposition. So that is why it is called prepositional phrase. So the cloud of misfortunes appears to have blown over. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಳೆದೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಔಟ್, ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಓವರ್, ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಡಿಯೋದು. ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಳೆದೋಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅವನಿಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ದ ದುರಾದೃಷ್ಟತನ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಯ್ತು. ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿಸ್ಫಾರ್ಚ್ಯೂನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದುರಾದೃಷ್ಟ. ಬ್ಲೋನ್ ಅವೇ, ಹಾರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಗಾಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. While we would like that all Indian children go to school. To go to school ಬರೋಂಗಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. That all Indian children to go ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So that all Indian children ಗೋಗೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. So all Indian children go to school.
Option A.
No. Option C.
Why we would like all Indians. Definitely.
While we would like all Indian children to go. Not that way. We like all Indian children to go to school. All Indian children go to school. In India today, many of our intellectuals still talk in terms of the French Revolution and the rights of man, not appreciating that much has been happening since then. Okay. I shall be grateful to you if you help me. A step. Conditional statement. I shall be grateful to you if you help me. The logic of Berlin Wall had already been undetermined. Do you know where Berlin Wall was? Jivita, it is important for you. For UPSC. Berlin Wall. What is Berlin Wall? You know UPSC very well. Berlin Wall, after World War II, Germany was divided into two parts, West Germany and East Germany. West Germany was part of NATO or democratic country. East Germany was a communist country. ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ಲಿನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಜರ್ಮನಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ಲಿನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗೋಡೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಆ ಗೋಡೆಗೆ ಎಡಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜರ್ಮನಿ, ಬಲಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಜರ್ಮನಿ. 1919 ಗೋಡೆ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದೇ ಮೇಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಅ ಯೂನಿಫೈಡ್ ಜರ್ಮನಿ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ವರ್ ಯಂಗ್, ನಾವು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಶಾರ್ಪ್ನರ್ ಬರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಶಾರ್ಪ್ನರ್ಸ್. ದೋಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಶಾರ್ಪ್ನರ್ಸ್, ಮೆಟಲ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜರ್ಮನಿಯಿಂದ ಬರೋದು. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಡೇಸ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜರ್ಮನಿ. Other countries have eradicated. So time iddaga, what is the thing that I have told you? That you cannot use present perfect. You cannot use present perfect, but you can use simple past. So other countries eradicated this disease 10 years ago. Young men and women should get habituated, or young men and women should get habituated to reading and writing about. No improvement. Habituated, abhyasa ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. The poor villagers. So for idre, what is the tense? Present perfect continuous or past perfect continuous. The poor villagers have been waiting in the bitter cold for. The old man felled some trees. Felled andre mara kadiyodu. Mara kadiyodike felling of the tree anta kariyodu. So the old man felled some trees in the garden with hardly any effort. Because hardly is negative. You cannot have two negatives in the same sentence. Helkottidini. So hardly any effort. The company goes to great length to ensure that employees are comfortable. I want you to clearly understand. I want you to clearly understand. No improve. I want you to clearly understand. Clear, all of you? Any doubt? This is sentence improvement. Okay. We will have to do reading comprehension ಮುಂದೆ ವರ್ಷನ. Sentence completion ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Did we do? What did we do before this? That only. Sentence completion ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. We did that only before, just before this. So reading comprehension ಮಾಡೋಣ. Para jumbles ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Close test. Yes. Okay. Close test is similar to reading passage, but the only thing is that you have to choose from here. So ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So now what you have to do is, for every blank options ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. So you have to choose for every blank. Let me see, do the first one. So first one ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳಿ, again I will move. It is the same passage, but second blank options ಇರುತ್ತೆ. What do you think is for the first one? Today, most businessmen are very worried. To begin with, they are not used to competition. In the past, they sold whatever they produced at whatever. So again, let us check. Whatever they produced at whatever prices they chose. But with increasing competition, customers. So again, third one. With increasing competition, customers began to pick and choose. Pick and choose ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Pick and choose means ಆಯ್ಕೆ. So pick and choose. Imports suddenly became easily available, and that too at cheaper price. Artha aita? Did you understand? Okay. So let us do this. What is the option? As a rule of thumb, a manned mission costs from 50 to 100 times more than a comparable unmanned mission. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What is he referring to? Manned mission and unmanned mission ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಮಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದು, ಜನರನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸೋದು. ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಕಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ. ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದು ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್, ಜನ ಜೊತೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದು ಇಸ್ 50 to 100 times more. Unmanned mission. Thus, for scientific exploration alone, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ machine intelligence ಬಂದಿದೆ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ manned ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾ unmanned ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾ? Unmanned ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. Why? Because we are using machine intelligence and not human intelligence. So ಆ ತರ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. So scientific exploration alone, unmanned missions employing machine intelligence are preferred. However, they may well be no reasons other than scientific. So scientific ಅಲ್ದೇನೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀಸನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ನಮಗೆ. There may be reasons other than scientific for exploring. What are we exploring here? Space. We are exploring space. Mission is the project, but now ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ in that mission? Space. We're exploring space. Social, economic, political, cultural, or historic. Clear? Huh? Historical, ಹಳೆ data. Historic, ಹಳೆ data. ಆಯ್ತಾ? The principal advantage in having a clear-cut objective of business is that it does not derail the enterprise. The enterprise does not stray from. Stray andre dura hogala. Stray from the direct route that it has set for itself. Tanagoskara has set for itself. Enterprises with defined objectives can conveniently undertake research. Yes, undertake research and follow long-range development policies. Recognition of objectives removes the temptation. Andre temptation in the duram. Temptation andre enu? Urge to do something. So what he's saying, recognition of objective removes the temptation ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? To compromise long range interests. Losses ಅಲ್ಲ. To compromise ಏನು? Long range interests for short term gains. Let children learn to judge their own work. A child learning to talk does not learn. A child learning to talk does not learn by being corrected all the time. If corrected too much, he will stop talking. He notices 1,000 times. He notices 1,000 times a day the difference between the language he uses and the language those around him use. Okay. His talk used to be full of wit and humors. He liked reading. He was a voracious reader. Voracious ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದ. Voracious means too much. Voracious reader and would pour over books including a wide range of you're right, covering a wide range of interests as soon as he got them. He had given a standing order to 2 bookshops in the city. 2 bookshops in the city. Clear? Shreyas, confusing? You have to practice a lot. There is no other way. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ವಿತಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸಿಟಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸಿಟಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸಿಟಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು. ಸಿಟಿಲಿದ್ದ 2 ಬುಕ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. Watermelons came to India by the 4th century AD. Sushruta, the great Indian physician who wrote Sushruta Samhita, mentions that watermelons were grown along the banks of the river Indus. In history ತಗೊಂತಿದ್ಯಾ? UPSC They are also mentioned in ancient books. Sushruta calls it Kalinda or Kalinga. Hence, Kalingad in Marathi. It was hence Kalingad in Marathi. It was They are also mentioned in ancient books. Sushruta calls it Kalinda or Kalinga, hence Kalingad in Marathi. It was taken to China in the 10th or 11th century, and now it is grown throughout the tropics. Wild watermelons are heavier, taller, thinner, smaller, shorter. How will you decide this? Go to the next one also. Wild watermelons are dash compared to cultivated ones. Wild ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತನಗಷ್ಟೇ ತಾನು ಕಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Cultivated ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈತರು ಬೆಳೆಯೋದು. Cultivated, some of which weigh up to 25 kgs. The heaviest fruit, weighing 118 kg, was produced at Hope, Arkansas, USA, the state. So, idu manusya ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದು. So, which means wild heavy ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಾ, cultivated heavy ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Cultivated heavy ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So, what will you choose here? Wild watermelons are smaller compared to cultivated ones, some of which weigh up to 25 kgs. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದು ದಪ್ಪ ಭಾರ. Did you understand? All of you? Okay. Arkansas, USA, the state to which President Clinton belongs. The state to which President Clinton belongs. The Northeast India is Asia in miniature, a place where the brown and yellow races meet and mingle. There are at least 262 homogeneous ethnic groups. Homogeneous, same species. Heterogeneous, different. Homogeneous. So if you see Northeast India in the Ichege up to Japan, you see the same kind of face. Eldrunu ಒಂದೇ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ we call Chinese, but not everybody is a Chinese. So if you see Northeast India, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Tibet, Bhutan, Nagaland, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, all have the same kind of facial features. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. They are the yellow races. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಜಪಾನ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. It is home to more than 150 million people if one includes Bangladesh. Take for example the state of Manipur, which borders Burma with a population of 1.8 million people. I think bari Rajajinagar, Vijayanagar ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ 1.8 million ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. 1.8 million is how many? ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ? 18 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ. 1.8 million people. It is home to about 30 separate linguistic and ethnical groups, including the Taros. Who number less than 400 individuals. 400 individuals. Okay. Allowing the ages and the mountains, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಂತ. Allowing the mountains, the ages and the mountains, the people of this winding trail form an anthropological and sociological bridge to Southeast Asia, where the roots of many ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. So the next word is missing. It could be many diseases ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು, ಬರೀ disease ಇದೆ. So many, this is the only plural verb. So many, plural noun. So many opportunities. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದಿಂದು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಂತೋಗಿದೆ. Clear all of you? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay, let's just look at it. So analogy ಅವತ್ತೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Active and passive voice ಆಯ್ತು, ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎರರ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಯ್ತು, idioms and phrases ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, synonyms and antonyms I give you the list. ಮಾಕ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ 1 2 3 ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೌನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಪ್ಯಾರಾಜಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರೆಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇದಾಯ್ತು, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ದಿಸ್. ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ರೀಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. SSC ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಬ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಶೆಲ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ನೌ? ಶೆಲ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಸಮ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ? All right. So I told you how you should read, okay, and understand. Never read the whole passage together. Okay. CSAT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇರೋದು?
ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಟೋಟಲ್ 200 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್, ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್, ಸಿಲಾಕ್ಸಿಸಮ್,
ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. 80 questions, 80 questions, 200 marks.
2.5 1 question.
Okay, so first CSAT ಬರಿಬೇಕಾ?
Yes.
ಹ್ಮ್.
GS 1 paper. 2 paper ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 paper ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಈಗ ನೀನ್ CSAT ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆನಾ?
ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 paper ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹಾ.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 1 paper GS 1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಜನರಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್. ಹಾ.
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಪೇಪರ್ 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ CSAT ಬರುತ್ತೆ. CSAT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಷನ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್, ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್. ಇದು
GS ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್. SSC ಲಿ GS ಬರೀ 25 ಮಾರ್ಕ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿ, ಪಾಲಿಟಿ, ಬಯಾಲಜಿ, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ SSC ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೀನಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಫಾರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಸೊ SSC ಬರೆದವ್ರು, ಪಾಸ್ ಆದವರು, ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ IRS ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಫಸ್ಟಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್?
ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್.
ಅದೇ IRS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, GST ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆಯಾ? GST ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾವಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ IRS ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಎನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರೇಟ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ SSC ಬರೀತಿರೋದು, ಸೊ ಅವಳು UPSC ಬರೀತಿರೋದು. ಅವಳು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅವಳಿಗೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. KPSC first, what are the positions? Tell me, Noda. Highest ranking is AC, Assistant Commissioner, DYSP, Tahsildar. ಆ ಥರ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. SSC, if you get a good rank, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ಒಬ್ರು ಟ್ರೈನರ್ ಇದ್ರು, he cleared, ಬಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. he got post office. UPSC ನಲ್ಲಿ IAS, ಆಮೇಲೆ IPS, IFS ಮಧ್ಯ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, IPSಗೂ IASಗೂ ಮಧ್ಯ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. IPS ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ IRS, ಆಮೇಲೆ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸು, ಏನದು ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಗುಡ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ಸಿ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್, ಬಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನು ಬರಿಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಬರೀಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬಂತು. ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಂತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಊರ್ ಸೇರಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು. ಓಕೆ, so let us read this. This is a speech by somebody. So let us read this. Okay, who will read? So I have taught you how to read. So how should you read? Again, I will teach you. Just Modi, because these are lengthy passages. What we did were all small ones. Okay, education is one of the blessings of life and one of its necessities. That has been my experience during the 17 years life. In my home in Swat Valley in the north of Pakistan, I always loved school and learning new things. I remember when my friends and I would decorate our hands with henna for special occasions. So this is somebody who is talking. So the person says that education is very important. And where is the narrator from? Which place? Swat Valley. Where is it? In north of Pakistan. Okay, now tell me, is the narrator a boy or a girl? Girl. How can you make out? Because she says, see here, with henna for special occasions. Only girls put henna for special occasions. ಹುಡುಗರು ಹಾಕೋತಾರ ಐಟೌಟ್ ಮೆಹಂದಿ. ನೀನ್ ಹಾಕೋತೀಯನಪ್ಪ ನಜೀರ್? ಬಟ್ ಅವಳು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಡೆಕೋರೇಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ with henna for special occasions. So instead of drawing flowers and patterns, we would paint our hands with mathematical formulas and equations. We had a thirst for education because our future was right there in that classroom. So she says, ನಾವು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೂವ ಚಿತ್ರ ಬಿಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಹುಚ್ಚು ನಮಗೆ ಓದೋದು. You can look at things in two different ways. You can look at it in a positive way and a negative way also. ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? Okay. We would sit and read and learn together. We loved to wear neat and tidy school uniforms, and we would sit there with big dreams in our eyes. Andre, she's saying that namma bhavishya class room alli ittu, and we used to dream, and ನಾವು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಬರೀತಿದ್ವಿ. ನಾವು ನೀಟಾಗಿರೋ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. We wanted to make our parents proud and prove that we could excel in our studies and achieve things which some people think only boys can. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಹುಡುಗರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. Things did not remain the same. When I was 10, Swat, which was a place of beauty and tourism, suddenly changed into a place of terrorism. More than 400 schools were destroyed. Girls were stopped from going to school. Women were flogged. Innocent people were killed. We all suffered, and our beautiful dreams turned into nightmares. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆರರಿಸಮ್ ಶುರು ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. 400 ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಬಿಟ್ರು. ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ಡ್? ವಿಮೆನ್ ವರ್ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊಡೆಯೋದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಲಾಗಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯೋರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. Education went from being a right to being a crime. But when my world suddenly changed, my priorities, what happened? My priorities changed too. I had two options. One was to remain silent and wait to be killed. So, what did so ಇದೇ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲೂ. ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ರೀಡ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಡು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕ್ವಿಕ್. But when my world suddenly changed, my priorities changed too. I had two options. One was to remain silent and wait to be killed, and the second was to speak up and then be killed. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಎರಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನಿದ್ದು ಸಾಯ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಎದುರಿಸಿ ಸಾಯ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು. I chose the second one. I decided to speak up. The terrorists tried to stop us and attacked me and my friends on 9th October 2012. ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಬುಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿನ್. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಹಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗೇ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಟೆರರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನುಗ್ಗಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಹುಡುಗಿಯರ್ನ. ಸೊ ಇವಳು ಬದುಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಲು. ಎನಿ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಹೂ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್? Malala Yousafzai. We survived, and since that day, our voices have only grown louder. I tell my story not because it is unique, but because it is not. ನಂದು ಒಬ್ಬಳದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯುನೀಕ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯುನೀಕ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. It is the story of many girls. People like to ask me why education is important, especially for girls. My answer is always the same. What I have learned from the first two chapters of the Holy Quran is the word ikra, which means read, and the word nun wal kalam, which means by the pen. So she says, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ that ಎರಡು read and write is important. And therefore, as I said last year at the United Nations, one child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world. Today, in half of the world, we see rapid progress, modernization, and development. However, there are countries where millions still suffer from the very old problems of hunger, poverty, injustice, and conflicts. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಟೀಚರು, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟು, ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ಕು, ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಕಲಿಬೋದು, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ್ನೂ ಬಡತನ ಇದೆ. Dear brothers and sisters, the so-called world of adults may understand it, but we children don't. Why is it that countries which we call strong are so powerful in creating wars, but so weak in bringing peace? Sure, ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ವಾ? See, they easily bomb, but nobody tries for peace. Nobody really cares. See, ಇವತ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟು, how many people are lost their lives, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, just because two nations are fighting. Correct? Iran and US. ಅವರಿಬ್ರು ಜಗಳ ಆಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ what has happened? So many other people are suffering. Why is it that giving guns is so easy, but giving books is so hard? Why is it that making tanks is so easy, but building schools is so difficult? So let us bring equality, justice, and peace for all. Not just the politicians and the world leaders. We all need to contribute. Me, you. It is our duty. So we must work and not wait. Source: Nobel lecture by Malala Yousafzai. Okay, she won the Nobel Prize along with an Indian. Okay, so let us answer. When Malala was 10 years old, what happened in the Swat Valley? Terrorists tried to shut down schools. Yes, individuals were threatened with dire actions if they didn't stop going to school. Neither A nor B, both A and B. Which one? Both A and B. The speech emphasizes the importance of which of the following: education for girls in developing countries, education as a right for all, both A and B, counteraction against terrorists. Both A and B. Eradu important. Whose responsibility is to change society for the better according to Malala? Governments, politicians, individual citizens, all of these. All of these. Malala's story cannot serve as an example for others because it's unique. True or false? Agree or disagree? Disagree. Malala and her friends survived because they gave in to the terrorists. True or false? They survived because they agreed with the terrorists or they did not agree with the terrorists? They did not. They survived not because of that. They survived because of their will. Hmm. Umpire ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. Break. Okay. Short break. Then we'll continue. Okay. I'll share this with Praveen, the whole folder. He will share it with you. Along with it, I have made some notes. ಆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay. Complete notes ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. I'll give you that also with the rules and other things. Okay. So this one, let us understand properly. So ಈವನ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂದ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. Indian banks' pile of bad loans is a huge drag on the economy. It's a drain on banks' profits because profits are eroded. Public sector banks, where the bulk of the bad loans reside, cannot raise enough capital to fund credit growth. So bad loans become students. Gelrugu gotu what is a bad loan? Correct? What is a bad loan? Who are all become students? Nino Nazir? BSc. Rahman obne become Nino Hindu? Engineering. Nino Jivita? BSc. Okay.
So bad ones it is which the loan receiver are not paying correct regular.
Bad loans andre the loans which are have not been recovered. Which are mostly not going to be recovered. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೂಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಫ್ ಮನಿ ಟು ಗಿವ್. ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಅ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಬರೆಯೋರಿಗೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ and what is the what is a nationalized bank?
RBI regulated.
Everything is regulated by RBI. Government has more. That is PSU. Public sector bank andre 51% of the ownership is with the government. The remaining is with the public. Andre shares ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಮಾರಬಹುದು. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 69 and 80 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ನೆಲ್ಲ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆನರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರೋಡಾ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಮಂಗಳೂರು ರೀಜನ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹುಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು. ವಿಜಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು, ಕೆನರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದನ್ನ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ. ದೋಸ್ ವರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಹೆಸರು ಇದೆಯೋ those banks are all called scheduled banks. ಈ scheduled nationalized banks ನ ಲಿಬರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಆಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಪ್ ಟು 49% ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಅದು ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಗೆ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೈ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ SBI ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೆನರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 49% ಮಾತ್ರ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ನು 51% ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ PSU. ಸೊ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್. Lack of credit growth in turn comes in the way of economies return to an 8% growth trajectory. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವೋ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸು, ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಬೆಳೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಬೆಳೆದೇ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹಿಟ್ ದಿ 8% ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಟ್ರೆಜೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈ ರೆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಟು 8% ಹಿಯರ್? 8% ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ? ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ GDP. What is GDP? Gross domestic product. What do you mean by it? Products and services developed within India. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ಇಂಡಿಯಾನಲ್ಲೇ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ GDP. Okay. Clearly, the bad loan problem requires effective resolution. Once an asset is recognized as a non-performing asset, what do you mean by non-performing asset? Bad loan ge ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ it will be first termed as a non-performing asset. Why is ಯಾಕೆ ಸಾಲನ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಅಸೆಟ್. ವೈ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಹೂಡಿಕೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮನಿ. ಅದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಯಸ್ 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟು ಬರಲ್ವೋ ಆವಾಗ ದಟ್ ಲೋನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ನಾನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಸೆಟ್, NPA. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Banks must decide what to do with it. They have several options. One, they can try to seize the assets pledged by the borrower and sell these. This typically involves large losses on loans as the assets have to be sold at steep discounts to their book value. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನು? NPA ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಸೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೀಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವಶಪಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅವರು ಇವಾಗ ಸಾಲ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಮನೆ ಸಾಲ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ ಸಾಲ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಪ್ಲೆಜ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ? ಕಾರೇ ಹೈಪಾಥಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮನೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅವ್ರು ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 2, under RBI's strategic debt restructuring scheme, they can convert their loans into equity, acquire a majority stake in the firm, dislodge the promoters or management, and bring in new promoters and management. While this happens in advanced economies all the time, the SDR scheme has not taken off in India. So second option ಏನಿದೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳ ಮುಂದೆ? ಅವರೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ನವನಿಗೆ ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನಡೀತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ನು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಅವನ್ನ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ನವರೇ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನಡೆಸೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಎಕಾನಮೀಸ್, ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಅಂತ ಕಡೆ ಇದು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈಗ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮೆನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರನ್ ಬೈ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮೆನ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆನರಾ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀನೊಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನಡೆಸು ಅಂದರೆ ಅವನು ನಾನು ಮಾರಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಾನೆ? ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನ? ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದ. ಓಕೆ, Indian banks do not have the experience in running businesses till such time as new promoters are found. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಮೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ವೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಡ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಡ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? Nor do they have experience in locating promoters and management who can take over the stressed assets. Option 3, banks can restructure the loans so that borrowers are able to service them. This involves stretching out the period of payment or waiving a portion of the loans or reducing the interest rate on loans or some combination of these. ಮೂರನೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನು? ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ, ನಿಂಗೆ 5 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, 10 ವರ್ಷ ಲೋನ್ ಕಟ್ಟು. ರೀಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೀಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಂಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ, 5 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಂಗೆ EMI ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 5 ವರ್ಷದ ಬದಲು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ, ನಾವು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂಚೂರು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ what happens in any restructuring? Banks incur losses on the loans that they have made. At PSBs, managers are open to the charge that they have favored borrowers in a restructuring scheme and can invite action from the investigative agencies. So, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರು ನೀನು ಹೇಗಿದ್ರು ಸಾಲ ಕಟ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, 5 ವರ್ಷದ ಬದಲು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಭಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಂತ? ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಟಿವ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈಗ ನೀನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ನೀನು ಲಂಚ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಆರೋಪ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಆ ತರಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. A fourth option for banks is to sell the NPA at a discount to an asset restructuring company. This again involves a significant loss on loans when the transaction is made. ಅಸೆಟ್ ರೀಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಸಾಲನೇ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಈಗ ನಾನು 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ನನ್ನ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ, ನಾನು ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ 70,000ಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. 30,000 ಇವ್ರ ಲಾಸು, 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ನಾ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಂಪನಿನ ಕರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ನೋಡಿ ಇವ್ನು ನನಗೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿನಗೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಲೋನ್ನೇ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿನಗೆ 70,000ಕ್ಕೆ. ನೀನು ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ 1 ಇಸ್ಕೋ, 1.25 ಇಸ್ಕೋ, 4 ಪೈಸಾನಾರು ಇಸ್ಕೋ, ನಿನ್ನ ಹಣೆ ಬರ. ಆ ಥರ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಲಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೀಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ಅಸೆಟ್ ರೀಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್. ಅವ್ರ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸೇ ಅದು. ಏನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು, ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಂದ ಲೋನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಾರೆ. But it has the effect of getting an NPA off the books of the bank or cleaning up the balance sheet. ಅವಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟಲ್ಲಿ it will not be shown as NPA and it will clear. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಲೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸೋದ್ ಬದಲು it will show as cleared. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಬರೋ ಕಡೆ 70,000 ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. The bank's capital is eroded to the extent of the loss. So ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ದು 30,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಯ್ತು, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ 30,000 ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟಿಗೆ ಮಾರಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ why a bad bank is tricky? The Hindu newspaper ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇದೆ. Okay, now this is how you get. Okay, now let us answer the questions. Under which scheme do borrowers get more time to repay loans? SDR, asset recovery, permission from RBI, bank restructuring of loans. Bank restructuring of loans. Cleaning up the balance sheet means removing all bad debts from the books of account. Bad loans affect banks' ability to generate funds, affect the government's functioning, reduce tax liability, affect public trust. Affect banks' ability to generate funds. RBI's strategic debt restructuring means selling a non-performing asset to another bank, selling a non-performing asset to the public, selling a non-performing asset to the government, none of ABC. None of ABC. Bank restructuring andre ಏನು? What is SDR? Under the RBI's scheme, they can convert their loans into equity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನಡೆಸೋದು. That is called strategic restructuring. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು. ಮಾರ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನನ್ ಆಫ್ A, B or C. Do you understand? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್. ನಾನು ಅವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಹೌ ಟು ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್, ಓಪನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಐ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೊಂಬೆ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾಮಾ ನಡೆದಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಡಿಬೇಕದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. Okay, when pledged assets are sold by the bank to recover bad debts, it results in a profit, it results in a loss, it results in a loss to the public, it results in full recovery of the loan. It results in a loss to the bank. Clear? Understood? Artha aita? This is a very easy one. Who will read it? Yarara Odi. One of you read. Odi, read.
This is a description of how the day started at a primary school. At 9 a.m., children of the primary school stood loosely in rows near the school buildings at one side of the school camp. Not all children were on time, and as they came in, they joined their class by standing at the end of the row.
So this scene is outside a school. ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದು? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್. ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ? 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೋತಿದ್ರು ರೋಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ.
Not all children were on the time, and as they came in, They joined their class by standing at the end of the hall. Boys and girls stood in a separate room. There was a lot of noise and bustle
Buzzle. T is silent there.
and bustle as children kept jostling and talking to each other. Some of the very young children came with a parent or other caretaker and these agreed to continue their conversation. In the general above, it was difficult to hear what was being said by the headmistress.
ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಮಕ್ಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾರ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಈ ಮಕ್ಳು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರವ್ರು ಆ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ಅವ್ರವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಯ್ಸ್. ಹೆಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್.
Headmistress stood on the school veranda facing the rows of jostling children. Then one teaches the boy.
Then one student
went to the end of the assembly. A newspaper was pushed into his hand by one of the teachers.
ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ದಿ ಹೆಡ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಿಂತಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಮುಂಭಾಗ ಜಾಗ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ದಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಒಂದ್ ಹುಡುಗನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇಟ್ರು.
The boy
read out
some news articles from the paper, but it was difficult to hear what was said. Then there was a loud command from one of the teachers and children stood to attention, said Jai Bharat, Jai Karnataka, and shuffled off towards their classrooms. As the children went to their classroom, the teachers moved into the headmistress' office and sat down on their benches placed along the wall of the room.
ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಹುಡುಗ ಏನೋ ಓದ್ದ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ನು ಏನು ಓದ್ದ ಅಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ರು ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಜೈ ಭಾರತ್ ಅಂತ ಕುರ್ಚಿದ್ರು. ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರು. ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಡ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು.
They spent a few minutes talking about various daily issues and then picked up their bags and went to the classes. They were to teach. In one of the classes, the teacher, upon entering the class, declared that the classroom had not been swept and ordered that it should be swept.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರು. ಒಂದ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚರು ಏನಿದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಗಲೀಜಾಗಿದೆ, ಕಸ ಗುಡಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
One or two girls jumped up to find a broom and swept the floor at the front of the class where no one was seated, and then gathered the dust and bits of paper in a corner behind the door. By and large, the classroom floor were kept fairly but not spotlessly clean. Children sat down on the floor, cross-legged, boys to one side and girls to the other. Their
satchels
beside them.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮು ಇಬ್ರು ಹುಡುಗಿರು ಎದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಸ ಗುಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಾಗ್ಲ ಹಿಂದೆ ತಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಸುಮಾರಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಚಕ್ಕಂಬಕ್ಳ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು, ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಯಾಚಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್.
Footwear was left outside the classroom in a row along the walls. Teachers, however, did not bother to remove their footwear before entering the class. By 9:40 a.m., children were seated in the classroom and teachers took their places in the classroom and began teaching the lesson.
ಓಕೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಟೀಚರ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡೆ ಒಳಗ್ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ 9:40ಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಓಕೆ, based on the description above, which of the following is correct? Children went straight into classroom. They started with the school assembly. Children said a prayer. Parents were not allowed. Yaud correct? B is correct. The day started with a school assembly. In the school described in the paragraph. Children sat on the floor. During the morning assembly, There was a lot of noise and it was difficult to hear clearly. Inside the classroom, boys and girls sat separately. Which of the following inference is correct? The school gave a lot of importance to discipline. Everything was maintained. Children were treated with a lot. Children were expected to obey teachers and do as they were ordered. Very difficult passage. Let us see. Who will read? Indu, will you read?
Reveals that nearly 1/4 of babies worldwide are still delivered in the absence of a skilled birth attendant. Further, one third of the total maternal deaths in 2015 happened in India, where 45,000 mothers died during pregnancy on childbirth, while Nigeria shouldered the maximum burden of 58,000 maternal deaths.
Okay. So what do you mean by maternal health? Maternal health means ತಾಯಿ. Pregnant agiro ಹೆಂಗಸು. So Lancet is a magazine which released this. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೆ? That nearly 1/4 of babies, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಭಾಗ babies worldwide are still delivered. Still delivered ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Are still delivered in the absence of skilled birth attendant. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಮಿಡ್ ವೈಫ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ನರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಆಗೋದು. ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಮಾಡೋ ತಾಯಿನೋ ಅಜ್ಜಿನೋ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Further, 1/3 of the total maternal deaths in 2015 happened in India. ಇಂಡಿಯಾನಲ್ಲೇ 1/3 ಆಯಿತು, where 45,000 mothers died during pregnancy or childbirth. ನೈಜೀರಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು, 58,000. Okay, read.
Each year, about 210 million women become pregnant and about 140 million newborn babies are delivered. Ahead of the UN General Assembly, the LACEN has published a new series of papers on maternal health, which reveal that while progress has been made in reducing maternal health mortality globally, differences remain at the international and national levels.
All right. So 210 million women pregnant ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳು? 140. ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಲೆ ಸತ್ತೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ತಾಯಿನೇ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಅಂಡ್ UN ಜನರಲ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ there is an improvement, but international ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೂ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ there is a lot of gap. Okay.
In all countries, the burden of maternal mortality falls disproportionately on the most vulnerable groups of women. This reality presents a challenge to the rapid catch-up required to achieve the underlying aim of the Sustainable Development Goals, to
leave no one behind.
Says series author Professor Vandy Graham, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine.
Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಲ್ನರಬಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು? ತುತ್ತಾಗೋ ಹೆಂಗಸು. ಹೂ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್? ಯೂಶಲಿ ದ ವಲ್ನರಬಲ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಡವರು, ಸಹಾಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋರು, ಅಂಥವ್ರು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೀಳಿಸಬಾರ್ದು, ಯಾವ ಹೆಂಗಸೂ ಸಾಯಬಾರ್ದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಏಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಜೆಂಡಾ. ಓಕೆ.
According to the academic papers, there are two broad scenarios that describe the landscape of poor maternal health care. The absence of timely access to quality care, defined as too little too late, and the over medicalization of normal and postnatal care, defined as too much too soon. The problem of over medicalization has historically been associated with high income countries, but it is rapidly becoming more common in low and middle income countries, increasing health costs and the risk of harm.
ಓಕೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು, ತೀರಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕೇರ್ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇರ್ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇರ್ ಸಿಗೋದು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕೇರ್ ಸಿಗೋದು ಬಡ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಎರಡು ಡೇಂಜರ್. ಓಕೆ,
For instance, 40.5% of all births are now by cesarean section in Latin America and the
Caribbean.
stated and the Caribbean stated one paper. While facility and skilled birth attendant deliveries are increasing in many low-income countries, the authors say that phrases such as skilled birth attendant and emergency obstetric care can mask poor quality care.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಟಿನ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾರಿಬಿಯನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡೆಲಿವರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. 40.5% ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸಿಸೇರಿಯನ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಗುವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆಯೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ while facility and skilled birth attendant deliveries are increasing low income, the author says the phrases such as skilled birth attendant and emergency can mask poor quality care. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುವರ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಕೇರೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಅಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಬ್ಸ್ಟೆಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೈನಕಾಲಜಿ ಕೇರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಪುವರ್.
Additionally, many birth facilities lack basic resources such as water, sanitation, and electricity. The authors warn that measuring progress via the current indicator of skilled birth attendant coverage is insufficient and fails to reflect the complexity of circumstances. It is unethical to encourage women to give birth in places with low facility, no referral mechanism, with unskilled providers, or where content of care is not evidence-based.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಮೆಟರ್ನಿಟಿ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್. ಒಂದು ಹೆಂಗಸಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಜನ್ಮ ಕೊಡು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್. ಓಕೆ,
this failing should be
remedied
as a matter of priority, added Professor Una Campbell, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. In high-income countries, rates of maternal mortality are decreasing, but there is still wide variation in national and international level. For instance, in the US, the maternal mortality rate is 14 per 1 lakh live births compared to 4 per 1 lakh in Sweden. The sub-Saharan African region accounted for an estimated 66%, that is 201,000 of global maternal deaths, followed by Southern Asia at 22%, 66,000 deaths.
ಆಲ್ ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ US ನಲ್ಲಿ 14 ಪರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ 14, ವೆರಾಸ್ ಸ್ವೀಡನ್ ಇನ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ 4 per 1 lakh. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸಬ್-ಸಹಾರನ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕನ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾಲಿ, that region accounted for 66% of maternal deaths. South Asia ನಲ್ಲಿ 22%.
However, the authors warn that not all care is evidence-based and improved surveillance is needed to understand the causes of maternal deaths when they do occur. Additionally, they point to new challenges in delivering high-quality care, including the increasing age of pregnancy and higher rates of obesity. The authors of the series identify 5 key priorities that require immediate attention in order to achieve the SDG global target of a maternal mortality ratio of less than 70 per 1 lakh.
ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದರ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್? 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 70ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಸಾಯ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪುವರ್ ಕೇರ್ is ಲೇಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಬಿಸಿಟಿ. ಲೇಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಹುಡುಗಿರು ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂತ, ಲೇಟ್ ವಯಸ್ಸಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಲೂಸಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಬೇಬಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಒಬಿಸಿಟಿ, ದಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬರ್ಗರು ಪಿಜ್ಜಾ ತಿಂದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಅ ಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೆತ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಸೂನ್, ಲೇಟಾಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಏನು, ಲೇಟ್ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಡೇಂಜರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಬೇಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಗ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟ್, obese. Okay, which country had the largest maternal deaths? Nigeria. Why do the authors argue that measuring progress through skilled birth attendant availability can mask problems? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳೋದು, ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಅಟೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರೂನು, why is that it can mask the actual problems? Because many facilities don't have basic sanitation, water or electricity. What is India's share in maternal death in South Asia? So South Asia ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತ್ರು? 22%. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ what was India's share? So what is, maths ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ. Happened in India where 45,000 mothers died during pregnancy. So 22,000. India is in South Asia. So 22% ಆಯ್ತು. So how will percentage ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಾ ಪ್ರವೀಣು? Okay. So how will you calculate? So 45,000 is what percentage of, Allah, sorry, 22% of the total happened in India. So what will be 45,000? ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? %22 is the total. Correct? India share ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? 45,000. So 45,000 is what? So South Asia ನಲ್ಲಿ what was the total deaths? Correct. So 22% is 66,000. So 45,000 is what percent? 45,000 into 22 divided by 66. 22 ones are 22, these are 3 ones are 15%. Answer idea 15%. Let us see. Yeah, 15% ಇಲ್ಲ. Huh? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಇದೆ. ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. What you should do is 66,000 deaths ಆಯ್ತು ಸೌತ್ ಏಷ್ಯಾಲಿ, 45,000 ಇಂಡಿಯಾಲೇ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ 45,000 divided by 66,000 into 100. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಈಗ 250. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? 311s are 315s are 15 into 50, 750. 6 are 66, 90, 8 78, 68% ಇದೆಯಾ? 68%. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? Did you understand? No. So, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 45%, 45,000 divided by 66,000. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 45,000 is what percentage of 66,000? That is what you need. So the answer is 16. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Yes, you check with her, she'll tell you after the okay. State true or false. All developed countries have similar rates of maternal deaths. True or false? False. Which of the following sets of problems are responsible for poor maternal care? Not seeking timely care, very little care, both A and B. Okay? Clear? All of you? So the reading passage is not like one do yardo. You have to do a lot. But the skill is the what do you say? The way you need to do is it this. ನಾಲ್ಕರಿಂದ 5 line ಓದಿ, tell it in your own mother tongue. If possible, you have to visualize it. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ದು ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. What all can be visualized? ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗು, ಅದ್ರ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಒಬ್ಬ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದ್ತಿರೋದು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕಿರ್ಚಿಸ್ತಿರೋದು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕೂತಿರೋದು, ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಟಾಪ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು. All these things must be visualized. You have to read more. Avagale. Clear? So I will share all these things with ma'am. Our immediate thing I will share. Okay. ಇನ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕೀಗ? Okay. So how do parajumbles look? ಈ ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತವೆ. So what is it that you have to do? Rearrange the following sentences. Andre ee nalakkanna you have to rearrange. How will we rearrange now? I came to know that this is fixed. He was extremely talkative to the point of boring his friends, who were all very reserved compared to his brothers. So QPSR. Illa answers ಬರ್ದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, it's okay. The fact is that the hunters hesitated to go out again for shooting the lion, having been found once. No. The fact is that the hunters hesitated to go out again for shooting the lion, having been found once. Easy? When I entered her drawing room, the old lady showed me her beautiful marble table with gold-plated legs. In many countries, especially those in tropical and subtropical regions, it is necessary to boil water in order to kill any infectious bacteria it may contain. Psychologists say that humans have an innate drive to finish what they start. Nations of the world are making efforts in developing peaceful international relations together are making efforts in developing peaceful international relations as they are fully aware of the danger of their not coming together. Okay, the answer torsala, let me say. The hungry man replied in the negative. The hungry man replied in the negative to his question and said that he only wanted a meal. Correct? Okay. Okay. It is a matter of grave concern that people read fewer books today than they did even a decade ago. So look at this adjective ಹೇಳುವಾಗ less books ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Why? Because for countable you should use fewer. Did you understand? You cannot say less books. ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ less books, he reads very less books ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, which is wrong. Because books is countable, you have to use fewer. You remember adjectives, alva? Right. The lecture began quite methodically by telling a class of eager students where the island was situated, what were and how well they could be exploited, what were its natural resources. Let us rethink. Began quite methodically by telling a class of eager students where the island was situated and how well, what were its natural resources and how well. So Q, yes, R, P. Clear? It is an accepted custom for a man to open the door when he accompanies a lady. Clear? What is the other norm? So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಂಗ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ you have to open the door and say you first, after you ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂತ. The other thing that you should all follow is when you meet a stranger girl, you should never extend your hand first. The girl has the right to extend the hand. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? You should not first go and extend your hand to a girl. What if the girl does not want to extend the hand? Huh? ಏನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಹುಡುಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಹುಡುಗ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೌದಾ ಓ ಇಷ್ಟು ಓಕೆ ರೀಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ when you get such things, the first thing is always you should try to find out, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ try to find out the last one. So first of all ಓದ್ಬಿಡಿ. She eased out something from her waist folds. Mangal Lal welcomed a customer. Once visible, Mangal realized it was the woman carefully counted the money and left. He took the bangles. I have to go to a business school for mentoring. So I had finished 20 days. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೊಯಂಬತ್ತೂರ್ಗೆ. So it's only mentoring. I have to handhold them for interviews. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ನೌ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮುಗಿಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕಾಯ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. I had told her I cannot come till this is over. Okay. So first what you need to do is, so ಇದು ಇಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ what could be the last one? The woman carefully counted the money and then left. So she went away. So this will be the last. So D will be your last. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನೀವು? D last ಅಂತ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. What should you do first? What is a trick? ನೀವು ಇದು ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ you understood that D will be the last. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟ್ಲು. So that will be the end of the story. What should you do? Answer ge. Very simple trick. Come to the options. Options ನಲ್ಲಿ D ಕೊನೆ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. Did you understand what I'm trying to? ನೀವೇನಂದ್ರಿ, so D will be my last answer. ಪಕ್ಕಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ ಅದನ್ನ. Instead of ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಕ್ಕೂ ಮೊದಲು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಇ ಡಿ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡಿ ಆಸ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಎರಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎರಡನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಓದಿ. ಈ ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಓದಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ನೀವು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದನ್ನ ನೋಡೋ ನೆಸೆಸಿಟಿ. Did you understand? Okay. So ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ, so what will be the thing? He took the bangles. ಇಲ್ಲ, this customer ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So Mangal Lal welcomed the customer early in the day. Next to this customer was a peasant woman wearing a discolored sari and old anklets. So B F. Next to, she eased out something from her waist folds. Once visible, Mangal Lal realized it was a pair of gold bangles. He took the bangles and placed some money the woman. So it should be B F A C E T. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಈಗ? The emperor was impressed with me and rewarded. ಅದಂತೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. He then asked me, ಅದು ಇರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. One fine day, ಇದು ಇರ್ಬೋದು. So one fine day, the emperor decided to test my intelligence. By doing so, ಆಗಲ್ಲ. After thinking, he drew a line on the floor with the help of a chalk. So ಈಗ what we should do, ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಗೋ ಟು ದಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಎರಡು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೋಡಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತ? ಓಕೆ. So in this test mind, he drew a line on the floor with the help of a chalk. He then asked me to make it shorter without erasing its ends. After thinking over it for some time, I drew longer lines on both the ends of the line that the emperor had drawn. By doing so, I could make the line shorter without erasing the ends. Clear? So read this. So D is the first. He entered the room with the photographer holding an album and a shawl. He placed the album before the president. Amele will be E. The president glanced through it and said, I shall not be able to make it, but may God bless the children. Next, hearing this, the man asked the photographer to take a photo of him placing a shawl around the president's shoulders. Next, the man then left and diagonally pointed out that he had taken the shawl with him, to which the president replied, I do not need it. Perhaps he does. Such was his down-to-earth nature. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Just go through it. Got it, all of you? So what else is left? So idanella I will share it with you. Okay. So ಇದು ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ S1 and S6 will be fixed. In ಮಧ್ಯದ ಮಾತ್ರ you need to. So ಇದು another type. First type ಏನು? First sentence is fixed. Second one ಯಾವುದು fix ಇರಲ್ಲ. Third one S1 and S6, that is sentence 1 and sentence 6 is fixed. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ ನೀವು arrange ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Clear? ಇದು ಅದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. I have 2 exercises for that. Okay, will you do the question paper? Idioms and phrases ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? You have to learn it. ನಾನು explain ಮಾಡೋದಿರುತ್ತೆ. You think you want to explain? Oh. List of synonyms ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ? This you have to go through. Okay, idioms and phrases. ನುಡಿ ಮಾತುಗಳು. So all and sundry means what? Everybody without ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. That is all and sundry. What do you mean by at an arm's length? Keep your enemies at an arm's length. Andre at a distance. The answers ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. At daggers drawn means at enmity. At daggers drawn andre they were at enmity. Bag and baggage andre ಏನಿರ್ಬೋದು? Bag and baggage. He left the town with his bag and baggage. ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಊರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ ಅಂತ. Bag and baggage. He left with his bag and baggage andre ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ ಅಂತ, with all one's belongings. Bed of roses. Life is not a bed of roses. It is not. Life is not full of joys. By leaps and bounds. He achieved a lot of wealth. He earned a lot of money by leaps and bounds. Very fast. Leaps and bounds means very fast. Ups and downs alla. Leaps and bounds andre sikkabatte bega. In cold blood. He was murdered in cold blood. Yes. He was murdered ruthlessly. Okay. Next. In the teeth of. Andre directly against. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಸಿಗೋದು. Ins and outs. Everything. Full details. Lion's share. Major share. Okay. Out of question. Writing the exam this year is out of question. It is not? No.
Not even one of the options.
Impossible. Up to the mark, standard. Below standard, Allah. With open arms, he welcomed his with open arms, andre warmly. Cold-blooded resemble coldly, warmly. With open arms andre warmly. A black sheep. No, I am the black sheep in the family. Cup chukke. Manege ಒಂದು cup chukke. None. He is somebody who is a bone of contention. The bone of contention between Iran and US is the nuclear weapons. Andre, it is a reason for discord. Discord andre jagala. A cock and bull story, an absurd tale. A gala day, day of festivity. A hard nut to crack, difficult. A difficult problem. A man of straw, one who has no influence. A turncoat, one who changes one's opinion or party. ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. Okay, so go through it. You have to by heart it, or you have to keep reading it every day to remember. Otherwise, it's too huge. Okay. Okay, just attend this test. No. Error spotting idರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ individually, don't discuss. First one ಏನು? ಯಾಕೆ?
R2B.
Very good. See, radar equipments is plural, but that is singular. So you should say the radar equipments, those have to be used, or which have to be used. It is of primary importance in swimming to learn no error of all those involved in the accident. Either the operator or the fireman is to blame. I have not had tea for 2 days. Okay. So let us see. Idu close test. During a BJP conference in Mumbai in November 1995, BJP President Advani declared that Vajpayee would be the party's prime ministerial candidate in the forthcoming elections. The BJP became the single largest party in parliament, India's parliament. In parliament. In the 1996 general election, helped by the religious polarization across the country as a result of demolition of the Babri Masjid. In President Shankar Dayal Sharma, he invited Vajpayee to form the government. Vajpayee was sworn in as the 10th Prime Minister of India, but the BJP failed to muster means collect, muster a majority among members of the Lok Sabha. Clear? Okay. Of the four alternatives, choose the one which best expresses the meaning of the given word. Shaft. Decapitate. Shaft, I think, is Josh. Decapitate, behead. Entail, necessitate. Find it out. Okay, now. In the following questions, out of the four alternatives, choose the word which is opposite in meaning. Contingent. Contingent andre unpredictable. So what will be the opposite? Predictable. Contingency plan antare. Contingency plan andre ಎದುರು ನೋಡದೇ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಏನಾರು ಆದರೆ ಅಂತ. Rogue. Saint. Rogue andre ಕೆಟ್ಟವನು. Sapient. Find out. The questions below consist of a set of labeled sentences. Out of the four options given, select the most logical order of the sentences. Okay. Biologists are often accused of taking. So which is your first sentence? You decide ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು R. So ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ come to the options. R ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗೋದು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಇದು. So this will be your answer. Don't waste time. ಇದು ನೋಡೋಣ, ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ವೆರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Accused of taking a rigidly deterministic approach to behavior. See RPQ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇವಾಗ? Once you decide the sentence, first or last, come to the options and check. Okay? Okay. The India we inherited was wonderful, but the one that we have bequeathed our children is degraded in every way. Bequeathed andre kododu. Bequeath means kododu. Okay. Next. There is no point getting defensive about our failure. The reformer must know that what moves people is the authentic life, not mere writing. All the production units come under public sector. All the government owned public production units come under the ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? In the following question, 4 words are given, out of which 1 word is correctly spelled. Murmuring, I think this is correct. Murmuring. Mutineers, this one. Allah, this one, mutineers. Obeisance. Obeisance andre Shraddhanjali. Serendipity. This is correct. What is serendipity? This is correct. What is serendipity? By chance, by luck. Serendipity means by luck. Change the following sentences into indirect narration. Helidnalla. They may ask you directly. Sumit said, "Father, I want to go abroad after I finish my studies here." So how will you change it? Sumit told his father that he wanted to go abroad after he finished his studies there. I said to Sumit, "Why do you want to go abroad? Where actually do you want to go?" I asked Sumit why he wanted to go abroad and where actually he wanted to go. "Don't go home yet," I told my colleague. "Remember, you promised to finish your work before leaving." I told my colleague not to go home yet and reminded him that he promised to finish his work before leaving. I did this in the class also, the same question. "Please listen to me," he answered. "I must go now because," oh, the same thing we have done in the class. Okay. "I was shocked by the letter." This is passive voice. What should you do? Make the active voice. What should you do? "The letter shocked me." The letter shocked me. "Somebody stole my car last week." My car was stolen by somebody last week. Do they sell construction material? Is construction material sold by them? Sharma was cleaning the house. The house was being cleaned by Sharma. I bought a new shirt last week. A new shirt was bought by me last week. You know, the rest of you. Huh? ಹೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ? ನಿನ್ ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನಿಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ, ಹ್ಞೂ ಅಂದ್ಯಾ, ನೀನ್ ಒಂದೇ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀಯ. Okay, 50 feet away, 3 male lions lay by the road. They didn't appear to have a hair on their heads. Noting the color of their noses, Craig estimated that they were 6-year-old young adults. "This is wonderful," he said, after staring at them for several moments. "This is what we came to see. They really are maleness." Craig, a professor at the University of Minnesota, is arguably the leading expert on the majestic Serengeti lion, whose head is mantled in long, thick hair. And Peyton West, a doctoral student who has been working with him in Tanzania, had never seen the Tsavo lions that live some 200 miles east of Serengeti. This, the scientists had partly suspected that the maneless males were adolescents mistaken for adults by amateur observers. Now they knew better. So male-less ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಂಹ, ಗಂಡು ಸಿಂಹಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಫುಲ್ ಕೂದ್ಲಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, these lions don't have that. ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಲಯನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇದೇನು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಮೇಲ್ ಲಯನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಕೂದ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ these are a category which does not, even males-ಗೂ ಅದಿರಲ್ಲ. The Tsavo research expedition was mostly Peyton's show. He had spent several years in Tanzania compiling the data she needed to answer a question that ought to have been answered long ago. Why do lions have males? It's the only cat, wild or domestic, that displays such ornamentation. In Savo, she was attacking the riddle from the opposite angle. Why do its lions not have manes? Some maneless lions in Savo East do have partial manes, but they rarely attain the regal glory of the Serengeti lions. Does environmental adaptation account for the trait? Are the lions of Savo, as some people believe, a distinct subspecies of their Serengeti cousins? ಸುಮಾರು ದೊಡ್ಡದೇ ಇದೆ. Oh, very big. Will you read and do it? So, Ishtunu, I will share it with ma'am. Okay, na? The whole thing I will share. And ನೀನು ಈ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕೋತಿಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಂದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೇ ಇದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ದಿಸ್ ಪಿಸಿ ಪಕ್ಕ ಈ ಸೈಡ್
ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಸೆಂಡ್. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನೇ ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಯಾರು ಕಳಿಸ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ. I have written it. Okay, complete ಇದೆ. ಏನೇನಿದೆ? All subject verb agreement to verb to, what is it, what does it mean, what are the rules, examples ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್, ನಾನು ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ರೆಡಿ ರೆಕನರ್. ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇಜಸ್? 66 pages. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾರಿ ಅಂದ್ರು. I didn't want. Somebody told me publish it and sell it ಅಂತ. I didn't want to do all that. So ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು I just give it. So ಏನ ನೀವು ಮಾರಿದ್ರಾ? ಏನ್ ನಂಬರು? ಅವತ್ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಯಲ್ಲ ನೀನ್ ನಂಬರು. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ತಾನೇ ಕಳಿಸಿದ. ಇನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು. ಇದನ್ನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ.